Hey guys, Lucas here. Before you get into your super fun episode of Elwood City Limits, I just want to thank everyone for nominating us for the Best of Halifax Award, but the battle's not over yet. We still want to get into the top 3 because it's a big deal for us. The podcast gets a lot of notoriety from it. We get a fun plaque, and we even get invited to a cool party. So if you want all of those fun things for us here at ECL, just go to bestofhalifax.com and you scroll down to News and Media, and in the Best Podcast section, vote for Elwood City Limits. Thank you!
Well, it's the end. Well, not quite the end of summer. It's the end of August, and I guess I'm still in that school mindset. I guess it helps when you do a podcast about a cartoon that you watched when you were in school. I'm thinking that it's the end of the summer. We've still got a few weeks left, but I think the hottest days of the year are probably over by now. But not unless you have a particular album spinning in your car or in your Discman or perhaps in your jukebox. And we're here to talk about such an album today. Hey, it's Will Young, and this is Elwood City Limits, the episodic Arthur podcast, coming at you at the end of August with a special presentation. And ECL presents. We have done past episodes on 2 of the 3 Arthur albums, and if you haven't listened to them yet, you should go and check them out. They're a lot of fun, and I think it's high time that we talk about the 3rd and to date final Arthur album, and that's called Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix. But of course, I can't do this alone. I need help. I need somebody who really understands not just Arthur, not just music, but Arthur-related music better than anybody else that I know. And you may have heard him on the Arthur's Perfect Christmas album review, and he's here once again. Who else could it be but DJ Bob? Hey, Bob.
Hello! How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to hear from you again. It's been a while.
It's awesome to be here.
So, of course, thank you, Bob, first and foremost, for getting this album into my hands. I think it would have been a little bit difficult to track this one down.
Yeah, I don't think this one is on YouTube or anywhere. Not sure.
And I imagine I have never heard of this before doing Elwood City Limits and like looking it up on Wikipedia. So this one is definitely not from my childhood.
Yeah, this was kind of when I stopped watching, sort of.
So this maybe we should get it out of the way right now. So before we started recording, Bob asked me a very important question. If I knew what day that this particular album was released.
It's not like they knew.
No,
but,
no, of course not.
But 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, this album was released on September 11th, 2001. Can you even imagine trying to do anything that day? Oh my gosh, I can't. They must have been pulling their hair out over at the record company.
Yeah, and the record company that it was released on only released these albums.
The Arthur albums?
That's it.
That's interesting. I didn't look any further into this. Do you know if it was part of, like, was it a PBS subsidiary or was it a Canadian production?
It was like an imprint of some record company. They only did kid stuff, and if they released more, then I don't know. But that's all I heard.
Interesting. I think you've got a little bit more musical know-how than I do, so I bow to your superior knowledge here. So, Bob, we go from Christmas songs to a little bit more traditional fare. This isn't tied to any part of the year.
Now, and these, I think this is the first time that they are doing original songs for an album. Because if you remember, the first I can never say the title right. The first album was the songs from the show with a few extra.
Yes,
This is all original, I think.
So these never, with the exception of one, these were never on the television show. They just purely made these for the album.
Yeah, and some of them I wish were on because I want to see how they would have played out.
And we'll get into how it ties into the television show. So why don't we kick this off here? And this is so the album starts with the one song that was part of the show. In fact, quite recently, if you were listening to Elwood City Limits this year, I believe we encountered it closer to the beginning of the year. It's called "Believe in Yourself" (Arthur Theme Remix).
And I say, hey, believe in yourself. And I say, believe in yourself. And I say, believe in yourself. And I say, what a wonderful kind of day.
Now, on a technical standpoint, I would like to know who did this because that's not credited.
Really? I wasn't able to find any credits for the album. I imagine the voice actors are all credited for their individual songs, but
I would like to talk to them more of a technical on my show about how it came together because it's such a mix mash of production style. It's interesting.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a type of remix, and I don't mean this as an insult or anything. It reminds me of something that you would find on YouTube because of the use of the clips from the show, like these extended voice clips that I wasn't ready for.
You were watching Arthur from the beginning, so were you ever exposed to this before the podcast? The remix?
I'm sure that I was. We were kind of surprised, Lucas and I, when we found this as part of the credits, and we were like, hey, wait a second. But I somewhat remember hearing this when I was a kid, but I mean, when I was younger, I didn't exactly stick around for the end credits, so I don't have like any strong memories tied to it or anything. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that kind of sounds familiar.
I only remember that part with Frensky singing. That's it.
Oh, just
as a kid,
the you can fly
that's
part.
That's all I remembered.
Okay,
I like it.
I do too. Like I said, the voice clips that they use in here actually end up serving the song pretty well. I like the bit in the middle where Ratburn's like, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph, and then it's a little bit of a breakdown. That's kind of cool.
I love that. That is like. That's why I would love to talk to the producer. Like, did they comb through clips for it to be produced? Like, it's just so, it fits so well.
There's a couple parts of it that are a little, I guess the flow of it doesn't always go completely smoothly, but the parts that work really work. I had fun listening to this the full way through instead of just at the end of an episode.
I like that. Yeah.
And then after this one, we get our first full original vocal song, and this is Francine singing "I Don't Want to Wake Up."
Francine, it's time to get up.
I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up this morning. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up this morning. The sun is much too bright. Not in the mood for light.
I don't know how to describe it. It's very Broadway, kind of like not Broadway in the sense of how they're singing, but the way it's laid out.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Meaning, like, there's a storyline, and we're talking about her storyline and what she wants to do, and it's like the opening of a musical when you would wake up.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Like, I could picture her, like, the alarm clock buzzing and her jumping out of bed and, like, or like being like head under the covers, like just mad at the world, and then she just starts singing.
It lends itself very well to visuals, to kind of imagining what's going on.
The best way I could describe it, if you remember the movie A Goofy Movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Where the song After Today, kind of that vibe, where it's like the alarm clock buzzes, then he starts singing, getting ready for school. Like that whole, like, feel. Like if there was a part of an episode, I can see that.
You actually just reminded me that's something that I was going to do for my birthday is force my wife and I to watch A Goofy Movie because I haven't seen it in so long, and it's way overdue for a rewatch.
Oh, he's great. I could do a whole episode about that.
Oh man, I bet you could. I probably could too. I just need the refresher. I need the refresher. So yeah, this is about Francine just saying she doesn't want to wake up in the morning, and this I feel like is going to be a comment that's going to continue through a lot of these us reviewing these songs. It reminds you how good of a singer Francine's voice actor Jodie Restler is. She's so good in this.
She's so good in that. Like, she's also really good in the Elwood City Turns 100 episode.
Mm-hmm. And that's of course what Francine's known for. She's known for being a good singer, but I feel like this is where, because there isn't like a time, there's not like, well, maybe not time limit, but like there's no limitation here. So Jodie can
really showcase
exactly
her. Yeah.
There was a line here I really liked. I also appreciated Oliver Frensky being in this song, where Francine says, "Go away or I will scream." My wife was my wife was next to me while we were while I was listening to this, and she just said at the end, "I've never related to a song more in my life about just wanting to just stay asleep all day."
That's great. I just think it's like, and this song really doesn't have a genre to it. Like, I can't really tell what they're trying to go for.
It's very broad. I mean, I know you said Broadway, but it's also like just kind of broad and big.
Like,
and
other songs you could be like, oh, it's pop, oh, it's Broadway, oh, it's reggae. You can't tell with this one.
Mm-hmm. Just almost like an all-purpose show tune kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, you listen to it. Thankfully, none of these songs are terribly long. So I thought that by the end, it gets a little repetitive, but it's a lot of fun. And of course, Jodie Restler does a fantastic job, and we'll kind of continue that talking point as we move into the next song here. This one's one of the shorter ones.
This one is strange.
Pop quiz from Ratburn.
Every morning right before lunch, my brain's had all it can learn. Then it happens like it or not. Pop quiz from Ratburn.
What's the metric weight of a flea?
What is a Grecian urn? 5 tough questions every day.
Pop quiz from Ratburn.
What's a word that rhymes with cement?
So it's Pop Goes the Weasel is the tune of the song.
Yeah. It's very out of place.
A little bit, yeah.
It sounds like they're screaming.
It sounds like a song that you would have during like a class recital or something, because it's like you have all the kids there and they're just kind of
come on, everybody, single.
Yeah, just like it's like kind of scream singing their lines.
Yeah, like I don't like the delivery of Arthur singing, like he's reading off a page. It's like weird.
It's a little stiff, you find, maybe?
Yeah, very.
And again, with the voice, when Arthur Holden comes in as Mr. Ratburn, oh my God, that man can sing.
Yeah.
I mean,
if we didn't learn anything from homework.
Exactly. He sounds great in this, but I feel like when he just he explodes into the song halfway through, and it's just like, oh my God, here he is. The pipes on him. The pipes on Ratburn.
Like, okay, here we go. Yeah.
So I mean, this is only as good as as long as you can stand Pop Goes the Weasel, which, I mean, I'm not a young child anymore, so my patience
It's
for
really not a jam. No,
I'm afraid not. But the best is yet to come. I promise you. So
yes.
and it is pretty short. So
yeah, you can deal with it for however long it is.
Mm-hmm. The next one is our first DW song. Has anybody seen My Invisible
didn't
Friend?
remember this one at all.
So has anybody seen My Invisible Friend?
I think I just lost my best friend. I don't know where she went. She was here, then disappeared. What a predicament. Her pretty hair goes down to there. Her name is Nadine. 2 blue eyes about my size. Sweetest girl you've ever seen.
So you mean you can't remember it from when you listened to it?
No, like, I remembered every other song from this album, like, as a kid. But this one, like, totally, like, escaped my memory. But,
So how
a
did you...
DW song is always good.
So you felt good coming back to it all these years later, like just kind of rediscovering it? Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's DW trying to figure out where Nadine is, and it took me way too long. This is kind of a theme in my life. It takes me way too long to get obvious punchlines. So has anybody seen My Invisible Friend? I didn't understand until like halfway through the song, and I was like, oh, because you can't see her.
Really? Took you that one?
I'm sorry, Bob. I'm not the brightest bulb in the drawer. Sometimes.
I'm slowly starting to hear it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, ow.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So this is, I believe it's DW's second voice actor, Oliver Granger, who's doing the voice here. I thought he did pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I like this voice actor compared to many of the more recent ones, but yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think it's a talent to. I know that sometimes DW's voice can get kind of annoying depending on your mileage with her, but I think it's.
But she is annoying, so it
It's very true. I feel like though in song form that can be difficult to express in a way that doesn't make the song unlistenable, and this is definitely very listenable.
Yeah, what was that one from the first album? It's like, go to sleep.
Yeah, go to sleep. That was it.
That's what it's called. Yeah. Okay, that was a little bit annoying, but this is listenable.
Mm-hmm. And DW is also in the next one, Two Sides of the Story.
A souffle's a delicate kind of cake. I once made a perfect one that suffered a terrible fate.
That souffle was dealt an awful beating. It crashed to the kitchen floor before it could be eaten.
It's the kind of thing that sure does bug you.
I love this one.
This I agree. I love this one too. This I wrote at this point listening through the album. It's probably my favorite song so far. So
totally.
DW and Arthur are in this one for a little bit, but it's mostly Mom and Dad's song. And just
that never happened. I mean,
no, I wasn't expecting this at all. I wasn't expecting Mom and Dad to get their own song, and I'm very happy they did.
They have great vocal contributions. Bruce Dinsmore and Sonia, and it's great.
Yes, absolutely agreed. Bruce Dinsmore absolutely kills it as Dad, because we heard him before in Leftovers Goulash, and he's a really good singer, but I felt, again, this was kind of like a step up even from his regular singing voice. I thought this was fantastic. So and this is the plot of the episode. Oh gosh, I remember I've forget the name of the episode, but it's the one where they ruined Dad's souffle, and they're both trying to defend themselves.
What episode is it? I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's from a few seasons ago, so it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a pretty good recollection of this, except in the episode, Dad is very much kind of beside himself with grief, and here he's a bit more active in the song along with Mom. And
I gotta admit, they're always good with these albums having episode callback. They're really good about that.
Yeah, they represent the plot of the episode very well. This is pretty much exactly what happens, and then they also add a little bit of flavor in there. Like one of my favorite things is I forgot to write down what he rhymes it with, but in order to make the rhyme make sense, Dad calls her DW, and the only time I remember that happening is when Mr. Rogers came to visit, and he also pronounced it DW. So it was a little bit.
I love that episode. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
you probably done it, but
yeah, unfortunately, we did it pretty early on. But you did give me an idea. Maybe once that movie comes out later this year, we can talk about that a little bit.
That'd be great.
So yeah, this is one of the songs I definitely recommend that you seek out. I don't know, again, not sure how easy it is to find this album or these songs or anything, but if you can get your hands on it, this is one that I would definitely recommend. One of the standouts of the album.
Now, this next song coming up, I need to ask you to do something for me.
Okay.
Go to Google and look up the album cover.
Okay, one sec. I just gotta lean forward. All right, so the album cover for Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix. Okay, so I'm in Google Images, and I've got it in front of me.
Doesn't it look like he already is snapping his fingers? Buster?
So the image of Francine, DW, and Buster in the recording booth. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
So maybe he recorded that before he took the picture. Like, I just noticed that.
That's a good eye, man. I didn't even I just took a look at him, just like, yeah, that's the album cover for you. But I didn't even take a look and see where his fingers were.
Like, if you really look at it, yeah.
You're right.
Go into the next one now that I had that little preamble before.
So it's our first Buster song, first of many. I Can't Snap My Fingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Sugar Bowl that master of the melody, Mr. Buster Baxter.
Thank you, thank you. I can snap my fingers. It can't be hard to do. Well, I can crack my knuckles. Mom says that's...
We talk...
Well, apparently he can.
Yeah. I think maybe we caught him in the act here. Buster sounds as smooth as Michael Bublé on this one.
Yes.
Daniel Brochu really getting his inner lounge singer.
I always love his vocal performances, but I always love the part that I always find funny is when he goes, "Thank you, thank you." He knows that he's putting on a show.
Yeah, I'm sure he relished being able to kind of cut loose a bit as Buster here. So it's all about how Buster can't snap his fingers, and he's got this really jazzy lounge tune, and Arthur's eventually comes in, tries to show him how to do it, and it's until you are able to do it yourself, it's really hard to be able to like try and pick it up. I remember when I was younger, about the age I started watching Arthur and trying to snap my fingers, and it took forever.
I can't physically do it because of my disability, but if I could try, I bet it'd be hard. But
it's not easy. Regardless, I can do it now, but that's just simply because I've been doing it for so many years, and it took a long time and many, many tears until I was finally able to produce that sound.
But it's also like, why is this on the album?
Well, good question. I mean, they must have had some of these. Don't come from episodes, so there must have just been like ideas for songs, or maybe at one point there was an episode idea of like Buster doesn't know how to snap his fingers. Let's make 10 minutes out of that.
But you know what would be interesting? With a lot of these songs, to hear the demos
Yeah.
that the songwriters would send to the producers to, like, flesh the songs out.
Now, that's a rare find that I bet could be gold on the
Like,
Arthur intro.
doing the character voice. Like, I just want to hear some of that. Like, that'd be funny. And this is a prime example.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good song for what it is.
This is my. I'll be honest with you. It's my new favorite after Two Sides of the Story, and I think a little bit of spoilers here. I think this ends up being my favorite of the album. I think I was just so impressed with the way Buster sounded, and I thought the lyrics were fun too. There's a part where, like, Arthur's snapping his fingers, and then he's like, "Hey pal, show him," and then even Pal can snap his fingers.
Oh, I love that.
I thought that was kind of fun. So yeah, that's this is my new favorite. I think this one also sounds really good if you want to check out this album.
Yeah.
We get into another kind of episode related song
And another
here.
kind of jazzy one too.
With Fly, Butterfly, Fly.
Hey, pretty little butterfly. You can fly and fly all day, but you better watch it, 'cause this net's called trouble. And if you want to stay out of trouble, you gotta fly, butterfly, fly. Flip, flop, fly, butterfly. Don't you get caught, do what your mama and your daddy taught. Flutter by, butterfly, fly high.
Now, this was my favorite on the album as a kid.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. Like, I would always play this one because first of all, I always loved hearing different types of music as a kid, and these albums were great at exposing kids to different styles and not playing down the style.
Okay.
They really had the instrumentation, and this was one of them. But I always considered Binky liking, like, avant-garde and weird music because he's a bully, but he likes ballet, and he does all this other. So I always thought of him as like a jazzy dude.
Okay. I mean, I definitely agree with you there. Bruce Dinsmore, again, the lead singer on this one, it's interesting how he has to use a completely different register when he's singing as Binky. Dad's a bit higher, and Binky's lower. And he manages to stay in character for both of them. You can tell it's Bruce, but at the same time, it's so... like, he's so talented. It's just being able to sing as these different characters must be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but when you're a master voiceover actor like Bruce, you can he can be a chameleon and kind of
must just come easy to someone like him. He's so friggin' talented. To kind of jump on what you said, shout out here to the great musicians who have been doing the instrumentation throughout the album. In this one, it's a very fun, almost big band sound going on.
I love that.
I think I can I think I know. The song's very catchy, which I bet stuck in your mind when you were a kid. I bet that had something to do with it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Still, when it comes on shuffle, I'm not turning it off. It's great.
Now, is this it was your favorite when you were a kid? Is it still your favorite of the album?
I have to say Two Sides of the Story is my favorite.
All right, very interesting. We kind of very similar in our picks there, but you're still a big fan of Fly Butterfly Fly.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Now the next one, not so much, and I'll get into it.
Okay, so this is called DW's Brass in Pocket,
and it's a cover.
Got brass in pocket. Got bottom. I'm gonna use it. Intention. I feel inventive. Gonna make you notice. Got motion. Be strange in motion. Been driving
This took me by complete surprise because I never expected there to be a cover on a children's album, let alone like an Arthur album. And so it's a cover of Brass in Pocket by the Pretenders, which I remember hearing as a kid on commercials, I want to say for shampoo. Definitely heard them on commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So this one didn't work so much for you.
Oh my god. Okay. It was so sing-songy, and she was almost talking the words instead of singing them. Do you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah, for sure. No, I know what you're saying. It's especially when you compare it to the actual song, it's like night and day almost. So it's like I said before with the previous song, it must be really hard to sing in character, and I imagine that's something that maybe Oliver Granger was having trouble with this one, so instead just went for like speaking as the character instead of singing as her.
It's like, got brass in pocket. Like, really, like, just try to add a bit more inflect. Like, don't scream it.
You're right.
I know you're DW, but don't scream it.
I gotta be honest with you, I would be very interested in more DW covers of classic rock songs. Oh my God. I don't disagree with what you said, I just think it would be funny.
Now that you're saying that, I love rock and roll.
Yeah, just, I love rock and roll. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
Or girls just want to have fun.
Like, I can hear that in my head right now. Just DW this voice. We can't do it anymore because unfortunately Oliver Granger has aged out.
Maybe
of
we
DW
need a separate album, but it just doesn't fit on this album.
Oh, Nicki Minaj already took the Pink album, so we can't do that. It's good, but yeah, songs in the key of DW. I think this could be something. This could be something.
I'll endorse it.
So okay, not the best song on the album here. Check out the original though. I think.
I love the original.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good song. So check that one out if you have to choose.
And now a word from me, Lucas Mancini of Elwood City Limits. Don't forget to chat with your Elwood City Limits pals on social media with facebook.com/Elwood City Limits or at ECL Podcast on Twitter. We also have a Tumblr, elwoodcitylimits.tumblr.com, and an Instagram at Elwood City Limits. If you want to send us a question, send us an email and get it read on the show at elwoodcitylimits@gmail.com. You can find the entire episode archive at elwoodcitylimits.libsyn.com or on your favorite podcast service. If we aren't on your preferred podcast app, let us know, and we'll do our best to get on it. Thanks as always for supporting us here at Elwood City Limits. Now, back to the show.
And now, back to Arthur.
The next one coming up is called Elwood City, a Report.
Elwood City is the town I live in. It has a population of 60,000, not counting pets. But if you really want to know about Elwood City, the important stuff isn't in the encyclopedia. You need someone like me to show you around. Here's some of the stuff you won't find in books. The mall's real cool. It's all built on silt. Just go to the sales and watch the place tilt. You want to hang out? The Sugar Bowl is cool. It's right by Arthur's in back of the school. Downtown there's a statue under a tree. I'm not really sure who it's supposed to be. He won a big war or blazed an old trail, or maybe someone just bought him on sale. My report on Elwood City. It was founded in something 03. Buster's tour of Elwood City. Elwood City, it's home to me. Across from the statue there's a big dome. I think that it might be the president's home. You can walk in the park.
This one I kind of found more, I guess, interesting rather than entertaining.
This one was weird to me.
Yeah. Why was it weird to you?
It just seemed out of place.
Okay.
Like, there wasn't really a need for it, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I remember, it's kind of more talking than a song, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's not as kind of.
I mean, I listen
songy
to
as
it, but it's like sometimes these all blend together, sort of.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's more talking than a song, correct?
Yeah, sort of. It's just like all of the kids going around and talking about different facts of Elwood City. It's not like the most musically memorable song on the album.
Yeah.
I did learn, however, that Elwood City has a population of 60,000.
Hey, somebody needed to know that, and we figured it out. We know now. So
There was also a line here about how they don't know who the statue is downtown, the one with the beard. And I believe is that the statue of Jacob Katznellenbogen, or
it is.
Okay, so there you go. So
they reference it. Now that you said that, shouldn't there have been an album of the music from that episode?
I would love it. Like, maybe not a full album, but like an EP or something.
Yeah.
That, man, they missed it. They missed a trick. They should have, because those songs were really good.
I love them.
So yeah, this one, not much to report from this one.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, not much going on here. We move into our only Muffy song. I mean, she's in other songs. This is her only feature, Muffy's soccer song.
My daddy was made head coach of our team. He wanted to run it just like a machine. Oh, we were broke down in need of repair. Then he came up with drills to get us in gear. The shock absorber, muffler, and a piston, he said, could win us the game. Oh, but my feet are like lead. Oh, those drills really hurt. And now everyone's beat. They'll all blame it on Daddy.
Now, I strangely like this.
Okay.
It's not something that I would normally like, because it's kind of an oddball, character to have a song, but I like it.
Okay, so the song is basically the plot of the episode Muffy's Soccer Shocker, just in song form. Melissa Altro, again, very good at singing in character as Muffy, so props to her for that. So what do you like about it, Bob?
I like, you don't hear Muffy sing a lot, but when you do, the way she says certain, words, you buy into what she's singing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it helps when you have voice actors who are able to...
that are musically inclined.
Yeah, and are able to sing as their character. So you're able to just, instead of, oh, this is their voice actor singing a song, it's like, this is Muffy singing. So it helps you to buy into the... to what they're trying to get you to imagine here. I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts on it, but I'm glad that you liked it. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's not... I mean, there are no really, this song should be outside of Arthur, a number one hit, but it's just fine, you know?
Yeah. I think we can both agree on that. Well, that's our only Muffy led song. This is our third song where Buster is the lead singer, and it's called My Brain.
Here we go! I've got a foot on each ankle at the bottom of my legs that make it very easy to walk. I'm glad my hands are on my arms, not in my mouth, because that would make it very hard to talk. And most importantly, at least to me, my brain's safe in my hard head. imagination is unbound. I won't deodorize it or modernize.
This, if I may take your verbiage, Bob, this is a bit of a weird one.
Yes.
So it's just kind of like, it's a song about, I thought this was going to be a song by The Brain, who, by the way, I don't even know if he's on this album.
He's not.
So I thought this was going to be about the brain, but no, it's literally Buster singing about where the brain is in your body, and just kind of it jokes and turns a phrase about, you know, how your brain can sometimes wander even though it's sitting still.
It's very like, I don't know if you remember those shorts from the 70s, the Schoolhouse Rock shorts, like the it's very educational television song, like Sesame Street, well, not even Sesame Street, but more like, okay, we're trying to teach you something in a fun way, maybe with a character, you know?
Which is a weird time in the album. It's like it's like a little bit over halfway through.
Should have been after Pop Quiz from Ratburn.
Yeah. You're right. There are a couple of like random facts in there and stuff like that. So I never considered this as on the educational side of things, like a Schoolhouse Rock.
Well, you're working with the PBS show, so
that's true. Maybe they had to get that in somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, they can't. They got to be learning somehow.
This next one, another Francine song, and of course you can tell because it's called "Only the Frensky."
Your team is losing 100-6. You couldn't score if you called in the Knicks. That crazy clock is ticking. You think you really stink. You hear a whisper as something shoots by. A blur, a swish, and boom, it's a tie. The buzzer buzzes, oh wow, you won, but how?
Actually, I thought it was about Fern. No, I'm kidding.
Only the Frensky?
I'm kidding. But like when I heard this, I knew I was in for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just love the way Francine sings, and they really do such great stuff with her. Vocally, they give her like almost vocal acrobatics in some songs. They really know their talent and how to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a highlight of that.
I agree with you. So the idea of this is that Francine is referring to herself as the Frensky, which is an interesting kind of wrestler name, and that in pretty much, I think it's mainly like sports situations, but in like every situation you need only the Frensky can, you know, bring you to victory and all this kind of stuff, and don't take offensky at the Frensky.
Yeah.
There's some really fun lyrics in here. I think this is one of my favorites lyrically.
It's very punny.
Yes, it is. But also with a couple truth bombs in here I liked. So like Francine, very true to character, says, "Who needs you when you've got me?" Which I loved. I thought that was so good. There's a part in the halfway through the song where the band, where it's revealed that Francine's friends are playing the band, and they kind of get up and leave because they're sick of Francine just singing about herself. Buffy has the line, "Francine has no idea what it's like to be a person and have feelings," which is, ow, ooh.
Well, after the whole Hanukkah thing, do you blame her?
No, I guess I suppose not. It's
Think about that.
I'm not refuting it. I'm just saying it's just like, wow. You had to throw that bucket of cold water on all at once.
Because it still bugs me.
So eventually Francine realized she kind of backs down and is like, okay, this time I won't just sing about me. And, you know, it says that, you know, if it wasn't for the people in the band, then there would be no song for me to sing. And I like this line near the end there. "I need you as much as you need me," which I thought was very cute. Give me an aw.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree. This is a very memorable song, and
I like it.
and like it's
a very standalone song too. Like, yeah,
it's very easy to recall in your head, and some really great lines. Again, Jodie Ressler, as you mentioned, Bob, is fantastic here and always fun to listen to. So recommend it. This is
highly.
Our next one is Mrs. Whatchamacallit, another DW song.
I thought that this was very sort of whimsical and goofy. I thought it was a fun song.
Okay.
I liked it.
It's not as memorable to me because I was thinking about this. I was going to put down the note while I was listening to this song. I said, "Oh boy, I can't wait till, I have kids and then they forget my phone messages," because that's the whole idea behind the song is DW takes down a couple of phone messages and just like, it's from Mrs. Whatchamacallit about her son.
But it's like that. What they give DW is like, I mean, as I said it because it's so what DW would do.
Absolutely, it's actually very true to type for like kids DW's age. Just like if you expect them to take a message, you're gonna be pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
But this made me think, like, Bob, do you think that kids who are younger than us, like our kids in the future, do you think that they'll even have to take phone messages anymore? Because I had to do that when I was a kid, but I don't know if our kids will have to do that.
No, well, because parents most either give them their. Do you know that most homes don't have home phones anymore?
I believe it. Mine's one of them, but it's just something I didn't even think about of how that's gonna be a thing of the past. Like, kids are gonna grow up and be like,
maybe this song doesn't hold up.
Maybe, but I mean, it's kind of a fun relic in that sense of just like, oh, remember when we used to have home phones? I remember I had a couple when I was younger. I also wanted to ask you about the instrumentation, the instrumentation of this song, because we have some really interesting instruments on display here.
Yeah, we do.
The melody is done by like a sitar, and then there's also a part, like a breakdown in the song where we have like kazoos.
Well, they could have gotten the kazoo kid from that meme, but I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, I mean, the musicians go for the unexpected, and they really want to showcase different instruments, and I really dug it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I definitely didn't expect a sitar in a DW song, but it sounded really good. And the kazoos, I think, are almost a bit more to her character. It's a little bit more unhinged and childish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. And Bob, you'd recommend?
Yeah, I recommend it.
So our next one has to do with one of my favorite characters. It's Fern's detective Tango.
A missing book, a stolen pen. I must remind you to call me when you've got something of a mystery. Call me, Fern Detective.
Somebody's gotta help me. I'm in big trouble. The writing's on the wall, and the pathway, and the lockers, and it's my name, but I didn't do it.
Oh, yes. This one was very, it was very character driven, but it's very Fern. I could totally picture her listening to tango music or maybe even dancing the tango.
It communicates her character in a really true way.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's a very, like, the tango is, once you kind of hear it, it gives you a very certain vibe, and there's a kind of smoky mysteriousness to it that I think benefits Fern. I was wondering, though, so we have Buster Baxter, Private Eye, and in this song, Fern is, she labels herself, it's just like, it's the job of me, Fern, detective. And I think we need a good detective name for Fern. Like Fern P.I. or, so we've already got Private Eye. That's Buster's. Sherlock Fern, something like that. Fern.
I
Holmes.
like Sherlock Fern.
Sherlock Fern?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sherlock Fern. We'll go, and of course she has the cap as well that we've seen her wear. So Sherlock Fern seems pretty appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't want her to be left out. So this whole song is kind of about how there's a mystery afoot, and Binky's the prime suspect. And
of course he is.
Yeah, but I thought maybe this was going to follow the Binky Rules episode, but it turns out that by the end we don't know if Binky did it or if he didn't do it.
Yeah, we don't really know. We don't get an answer.
Binky is adamant that he didn't do it, and he's not always a liar, so it's kind of hard. Like, at the end I kind of didn't know how to feel. I was like, so did he do it or not? Like, who am I supposed to root for here?
Yeah.
But Fern is resolute that he did the crime. So I don't know. I don't want to go against either of them. They're both my favorite characters.
You can't really go against them. No.
Anyway, you've talked a couple times about how it introduces different types of music, and I'm sure that kids wouldn't necessarily be familiar with tango before hearing a song like this.
Well, unless and here's something. I feel like, and this will shock you, like that style of music was used so much in early 2000s kids TV, like in scoring and in songs, so maybe they have.
I think I know what you mean. I feel like there were a lot of cartoon gags about how, two characters dancing the tango with like one's got a rose in their mouth and they do the dip and all this kind of thing. So I think I kind of know what you're getting at.
Yeah, you see it a lot. Yeah.
It's funny. It's one of those things that you don't think about, but then the moment you do, you're like, oh yeah, that was kind of prevalent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So our next one is, for some reason I can't believe it's Arthur's only featured song in this album. My Echo Doesn't Sound Like Me.
My echo doesn't sound like me. My echo doesn't sound like me. I haven't changed, I'm still the same. But my echo doesn't sound like me. It's not what it used to be. My echo doesn't sound like me. I went to Echo Point with my...
Who was Arthur's voice at this point?
I believe this was Justin Bradley was his name. This was the voice actor who was only Arthur for a single season.
Okay.
And it's notable because around midway through that season, his voice dropped. So, like, Arthur sounded a lot older. So I think they had to replace him after that.
Oh, yeah. This song is very interesting topic-wise. But it's a good song for an Arthur song. I mean, what do you think about it?
So I think that the idea behind this song, when you really think about it, when you think about it too much maybe, is it's like a little bit of a horror story, because it's all about how they go to a canyon for a field trip. Everybody tries the echo thing, and then Arthur's echo says the exact opposite of what he says. But then he makes friends with his echo, and by the end of the song, the echo follows him everywhere.
Sounds like something out of Stranger Things.
Yeah, or like I don't know, maybe not Black Mirror, but like the Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that I wouldn't want that to happen. Like think about an echo following you around, even if it repeated everything you said, it's still like gives me the creeps a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought that it was very inventive. Like it's like if I was talking about like going on a trip and trying the echo thing, I wouldn't think of that.
No,
so whoever wrote that, it's just interesting what they think of.
It's like earlier on we were talking about how Buster couldn't snap. I was like, well, maybe that was an episode. I have a hard time believing that this could have been an episode just because it's almost sci-fi.
Yeah.
Or like fantasy or something. It's just a little bit too fantastical.
I feel like it would have been a two-parter.
You think that could have been a two-parter?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. First part, the Echo disagrees with him, and then the second part is the Echo following him around and him getting rid of it.
He's trying to cope with it.
Yeah. Ooh. This could get real personal.
Yeah.
And then that's our final song of the album.
Okay.
So our final track on the album is Goldilocks and the Bears Trio, as told by Sue Ellen.
What are you gonna sing, Sue Ellen?
I can't sing. Hey, we finally found something that Sue Ellen can't do. But I've written a play in stereo. Here are your parts. I'm the narrator. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. Daddy Bear.
That's me. Hi.
Big Mama Bear. I love being married to Daddy Bear.
Hey, that's not in the script.
Okay.
Aw,
well,
Francine.
first of all, she's trying to be a beatnik so bad.
Yeah.
And I just thought, why is this here?
Yeah, this is an odd thing to put at the end. It is a real why did they add this in this way? Because it's like they introduce it as Sue Ellen is going to narrate the 3 bears, or is going to do the next thing, and she's like, I can't sing, so I'm going to just narrate this. And it really is just 3.5 minutes of basically an audio drama of the 3 bears with some of the Arthur characters.
Now, what were you, as a first-time listener of this, what were you thinking?
I was just kind of thinking when the song was going to start. And then it just kept going, and I'm like, oh, there is no song, is there?
Were you like, is this going to be a song?
Yeah, I was. And, I mean, the stuff they have in here is funny, but it's just, I wonder what made them not want to make it a song.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that, quote-unquote, Sue Ellen can't sing, I imagine
you don't
that might
think
be...
a lot of this is ported over from episodes that they couldn't use or something?
Maybe. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they planned to do a 3 bears thing with Arthur and it didn't pan out. I mean, they've done similar episodes like that where they've done Alice in Wonderland and other types of books like that. We do get a couple of prime fodder for ship material in this song. Francine has a line where it's because Arthur's playing Papa Bear and Francine's playing Mama Bear, and she's like, I'm Mama Bear and I love Papa Bear, and Arthur's like, ew, Francine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to keep that going, you sure can. And there's another thing with Binky and Sue Ellen where Binky is playing Baby Bear, and so Sue Ellen keeps calling him Baby, and then he's like, okay, Sugar, like he's reacting like it's a pet name for him. So if you want to keep that Binky and Sue Ellen ship going, I mean, there's a bit of evidence here. I can
only picture the writers. Like, I need to know who did this.
Yeah, I'd love to know. Again, I wish I had a physical copy of this so I could
I'll
check out the liner.
I'll grab mine and I'll tell you.
I'd love to see the liner notes on this one.
What I'll do is I'll scan it later and.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. And And I also liked there's a part where Binky's like, I don't want to be Baby Bear. Can I be like a race car driver from the South? And we get a little bit of Binky doing like a Ricky Bobby type voice.
Yeah,
which I thought was
Ricky
really funny.
Bobby. We're setting the trend.
Yeah, really. This is like 5 years before that movie came out. Maybe we know where they got it from.
Yeah, well, I doubt, Will Ferrell is somewhere watching Arthur or listening to an Arthur album.
You never know.
Like
Maybe-
he's on
maybe
the set of Elf just with his Discman listening to this album.
Maybe one of his kids or one of his like little nieces or nephews, like all they wanted to listen to was Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix. And then it was in that last song that he got the idea for Ricky Bobby.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
No. But who's to say? Maybe we'll never know. I mean, if you found inspiration for that movie character from a place like this, maybe you might want to just kind of keep that under wraps.
Yes.
I don't know. So yeah, a little bit of an odd way to end off the album with basically a short audio drama here, and it's just the Arthur characters doing the Three Bears story, and then that's the end of the album.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it, and it's certainly not a big time investment. I think the longest one is the last track. It's like 3.5 minutes long.
Yeah, and you know what? As I tell you that I grew up with this album as a kid, I never owned it.
Okay.
I always rented it from or borrowed it from the library. They had it. And,
perfect. Arthur would want it that way.
I would, yeah, because there are Arthur books and lots of other books too at your local library. Yeah, so that it's a very brief exposure, yeah, but I know of it and I own it now.
So, returning to this album after you used to listen to it as a kid, Bob, overall, what do you think of Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix?
It's just that, a mix. It's very disjointed, but there are some good songs here.
I agree.
Would you say the same?
I would, but in fact, I think I'm a little bit more positive on it. Because I was thinking about it. So we have the 3 Arthur albums, and of course, you can go back to our other 2 reviews and check those out as well. And I was trying to figure out which one that I like the best, because the one that I grew up with was the very first one. I had that on tape.
Oh, me too.
I have fond memories of that. I remember upon revisiting it though that there were a lot of songs that kind of didn't hit for me. I found that one to be pretty uneven. And of course, you and I talked about Arthur's Perfect Christmas, and it's kind of different because it's a Christmas album and there's a lot of
kind of like spoofy and
yeah. There was a lot of standards on there, so it's kind of hard to judge. I remember liking it though, and I think just like pound for pound or track for track, maybe I think this album, Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix, is probably my favorite.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but you have to admit the track listing is disjointed.
It's a mixed bag, like you said. There's a couple of things in here that don't really work very well at all, but the things that I liked, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it would be between this or the Christmas album for my favorite. And I might have to give a listen to our review again to just kind of refresh my memory. But I had fun with this, and I think another great thing is that it's a short length.
Yeah.
Like there's not enough time for it to get like too long or annoying or anything. It's just like, okay, we're in and we're out. So that's a big plus
my
for me.
favorite Arthur thing that I rediscovered because of our last talk was Binky's he's like afraid of Santa Claus or something.
Oh yeah, I think that was one of the last songs from the Perfect Christmas album.
That killed me. Like after listening to it, like he goes from north or south, he's coming to Atlanta or something. Just like oddball.
There's a lot of off the wall lyrics in there. Well, I'm glad that to a degree it held up for you, Bob. I know it's maybe not as beloved as it was when you were a kid, but did you have fun revisiting it?
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun to hang out with you and talk about this show, because for a while nobody really understood my love for it. So at least I can talk to you and many others about this show. So
Absolutely, and you have a very good talent for getting people from Arthur on your show. So, Bob, before we end off here, please tell everybody about the DJ Bob Show and all of your projects that you have going on.
Well, the DJ Bob Show has been on a bit of a hiatus because it's hard to, do a weekly thing with summer going on and all that. But now we're back, and there are some interviews coming up that I really can't talk about. I'll tell you, Will, off the air. But
okay.
There's some that really connect with you, and it's not Arthur related.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So there's that, and one of the more recent ones we did was Bob West, the voice of Barney the dinosaur, another PBS staple.
That's right.
And that was a good chat. And then we're just going for the odd and kind of irreverent interviews and content that people really don't talk about much. And I want to be that vessel to bring it out.
Well, I think you do a very good job of it, Bob. It's always a good day when I'm kind of like sidewinded by wait a minute, Bob got who? Wow.
Yeah,
Barney, the voice of Barney the dinosaur.
That happened by accident. And I think you and I are going to have a long talk after we stop recording about future guests, because I think you're going to love some of them.
Okay. All right. So I need to hear about these. So I'm going to say that's a wrap on Arthur's Really Rockin' Music Mix. Maybe you'll be able to find it somewhere and perhaps
You know what I might do?
Yo, what's up?
I might put it on YouTube.
Ooh, now that would be doing the Arthur community a big service.
Because it's not available.
No, it's not. And of course, please let us know if you end up doing that so I can make sure everybody can listen to this.
I don't know if I should do it track by track or full album, but I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled on YouTube. You may be able to find it if any of these songs sound good to you. Hopefully, you'll be able to check them out real soon. So that's our final album review, but don't worry. I'm sure DJ Bob will find his way back to Elwood City Limits sooner or later.
I will be back. I was kind of waiting to come on for the 100th episode, or the Elwood City turns 100, but you guys beat me to that. But I'm happy to come back anytime you want.
Awesome. Well, Bob, it's been great catching up with you again.
Always.
That's Elwood City Limits for this week. Hoping to start season 8 coming up in September. My name's Will Young, and for DJ Bob,
see you later.
See you later.
God, I'm a dork.